Hello everybody and welcome back. So this time we'll be learning about another one of our very important sketch tools. It's actually like deceptively important. Called trim entities. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so what is trim entities? Well, you can currently see that even though I haven't done anything yet, it's grayed out. It's going to be grayed out for a little bit because I have to actually sketch something. Okay, that just looks wonky. What in the world? I have to sketch something for it to work. Now, if I were to use it blindly, I'll get probably pretty confused. Click the button, it gives me a lot of options. In all honesty, power trim is just the magic one. Just use power trim. And if I cut through something, it just disappears. Like, okay, so it's just delete. It is not delete. It's only delete if I get rid of everything. So now let me show you where it really shines. Now, I know you know better ways of doing this by this point. However, if I want to round an edge, another way I could have done that was to make a circle. I take a circle, I put it inside here, and if I want to round the edge, well, that's the rounded edge. And now if I wanted to, I can extrude this, extrude boss base. As long as I'm careful, I can have that rounded edge there. Just make sure not to extrude that guy right there. That works, that is completely fine. But sometimes I don't want all these extra lines. Like, I don't need that line. It's not necessary. I definitely don't need this corner anymore. So how do I get rid of them? I can't click on them. If I click and delete, it gets rid of everything. Don't want that. Can't click on the inside and delete it because that just gets rid of that. So I'm stuck when it comes to just these shapes until I see my glorious, amazing trim tool. So the trim tool works. You'll see a little gray line, a dark gray line. That is the line of death. You are now a ninja. Whoever that touches will disappear. Boop. Now, when I cut through that line, you notice that the entire line did not disappear. It disappears until it intersects something else. So beyond that point, it stays. Before that point, it's gone. That's an important detail. Boop. So this section got gone. This section's still there. And there we go. So now I have one closed contour, which is good for me because I can use the evaluate button if I want to define its properties. It also just makes it easier when I go to extrude it because I don't have to worry about picking a particular section. It just chooses all of it. So that's a bonus about it. Now let's try out some other little options here we can do with the sketch, or with trim entities. We get rid of this. We'll see how it functions for some other things. Okay, front plane. Still looking weird to me. That's okay. I'm going to draw some lines. Okay, so I have two lines right here. They intersect. Let's see what happens when I trim them. Boop. So now they are connected. That point right there is now coincident on this line. Get rid of this one. It leaves those two there. So whatever I decide to cut, if it's crossing something else, it will just grab onto that and stop there. Now I can change that with these settings. However, just don't. Another very helpful detail is these two buttons right here. Ignore trimming of construction geometry and keep trimmed entities as construction geometry. Both of those are helpful. And I'm going to show you why. Use this guy. Gone. Okay. I love this tool. It's one of my favorites. So I'm going to make a gear here. Okay. Let's make a gear. Okay. Looks pretty good right there. Yeah. Looks nice. I like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that gear have a tooth. So I'm going to make a center line right here, going from the top over to here. That looks pretty good. Top of the gear, tooth, and it comes down to here. Okay. You're like, why in the world did you do this ugliness right here where you went past instead of going to the surface? I did that because we're going to use our trim tool. Now, the first setting I'm going to click on is ignore trimming of construction geometry. So I'm just going to go, whoops, oh no, I accidentally, wait. Doesn't matter. It won't get rid of these sections right here that I want to keep, which is very, very helpful. I want that to be the case. Because most of the time when you have construction geometry, it's there for dimensions and you don't want to accidentally erase it. So keep it, make your life a lot simpler. It's glorious. Okay. Now I've got one tooth, I wanted to go all the way around, so I'm going to use circular sketch pattern. Like, what's that? Well, we'll learn about it eventually. And I'm going to give myself 6 teeth. That looks like a pretty good keel. Should have made these all equal and made them look nicer, but that's okay. Now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to start trimming again, but this time I'm going to ignore trimming with construction geometry, and I'm going to keep trim entities as construction geometries. Whatever I trim will turn into construction geometry. And you're wondering, like, why would that matter? Why would that be important? In some cases, it's not. In this case, it makes it a lot easier for me to add some dimensions because I don't have to go over to this side. I can just go straight down and still have my dimension here for the height. Even though I trimmed this out, even though this is now one close contour, I can still add the dimension for the height. It's 0.5, or if I want, and everything is golden. So both of those little settings are very, very helpful. I find trim to be one of the tools I use all the time, and it's just very cathartic when I make much mistakes. I can go, destroy everything, and just squiggle it all to nothingness. So if you're having a really bad day, just trim a bunch of stuff and you'll feel a little bit better. Oh, one last little detail though. You see this little dot right here on the origin? Trim will sometimes leave dots, and dots ruin everything when it comes to evaluating. If you're trying to do this, it won't evaluate when it has a dot right there. So if you see a dot just flowing off its face, you gotta delete it by hand. Okay, so that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this trim tool is helpful to you, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.